Selecting an insurance provider for your business is a big decision.
We know how important your company is to the community.
Alford & Associates can manage your insurance. It's our job.
Alford & Associates, benefiting your employees and protecting your business.
Good evening and welcome to this week's episode of Louisiana and Beyond.
And in this special episode, we continue with highlights of Martin's recent interview with the Commander and District Engineer for the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers in New Orleans, Colonel Scotty Autin.
In his very distinguished career in the U.S. Army and with assignments all over the globe, just in the past 5 years, he has served in Italy, Los Angeles, Iraq, Puerto Rico, and the Netherlands.
And tonight, the Colonel will talk about his Army career and the evolution of the Corps of Engineers, as well as the importance of protecting our coast in this special interview.
Stay with us. This is part 2 of my interview with Colonel Scotty Autin on Louisiana and Beyond.
Louisiana and Beyond is brought to you in part by Edison Schwest Offshore, Bollinger Shipyards, Crosby Tugs LLC, Grand Isle Shipyard, Nichols State University, and Sea Level Construction.
Welcome to Bollinger Shipyards. For nearly a century, our family of skilled shipbuilders has driven innovation and excellence, creating some of the world's most advanced vessels. Today, we are at the forefront of our industry and redefining the future of naval warfare. At Bollinger, we turn challenges into opportunities and careers into legacies. Here, you're part of something bigger. Any yard can build a ship. We don't just build ships. Together, we're building the future.
Edison Schwest Offshore is more than a fleet. We're an interconnected network of vessels, logistics hubs, and a fast-growing workforce of over 19,000 dedicated professionals across the globe. From the United States to Brazil and the Middle East to Southeast Asia, Schwest provides cutting-edge solutions to a worldwide community. And in the face of evolving demands across the industry, we are committed to operating as the best in the world.
In a world where you can choose to be anything, who do you choose to be? At Nichols State University, with over 70 distinct degree programs, we believe our students can be anything. Be an artist, a chef, a journalist, an educator, a lifesaver. But no matter what you choose to be a colonel. Be more at Nichols State University.
When it comes to marine towing, Crosby Tugs has over 40 years of experience. We have the know-how to safely assist ships into and out of their berths, escort oil tankers quickly and safely, tow ships, respond to fuel spills, and work in extreme conditions. Founded in 1977 by Vinton and Kurt Crosby, we are one of the largest privately owned marine transportation businesses in the industry. If it's on the water, let Crosby be your transporter.
At GIS, putting people first has always been our thing. As we always say, our people are our most important assets. With over 20 office locations, we deliver innovative solutions across 4 key markets: energy, industrial, infrastructure, and power. Our 4 main service groups house over 20 service capabilities, supporting projects from start to finish. We're proud of our legacy and even more excited about what's ahead.
Welcome back to Louisiana and Beyond as we feature highlights of Martin's interview with Colonel Scotty Autin.
And did you know that effectively all graduates of the Military Academy at West Point earn engineering degrees? Colonel Autin tells us how he was led to the academy.
I always really liked logic puzzles. I enjoyed kind of the structure and sequence of math and science, Rubik's Cube.
Yeah.
I enjoyed those, those early written logic puzzles of, that you would see as a kid back in the 90s and 2000s, Sudoku, and just those types of things I enjoyed. So I ended up getting an engineering management degree with basically a minor in civil engineering, right? And so it's a mutually supporting degree there. Every graduate from West Point is going to get a Bachelor of Science. And so a great example, my wife is a history major. She has a Bachelor of Science in history because she has a minor in nuclear engineering, right? And so West Point effectively demands all its graduates are engineers at their heart.
So she has a nuclear engineering?
She has a history degree with a minor in nuclear engineering.
Well, still, that's why she finished on top.
That's
of the class,
why she's
right?
she's the better of the OTAN in this duo. So I was very fortunate the Army sent me to get my graduate degree, and what a great opportunity to go. Ended up going to Columbia University in New York City. And so got a master's degree in organizational psychology. And that's, as you said, that's not a clinical, it's not a here, sit on the couch and tell me your problems. It's a, hey, how do you run large organizations? And how do you think through it from the what we call the X and the Y, the X of the physical things you have to get done, and the Y and the people, right? And people are different. They have different needs and wants and desires. And so how do you motivate a lot of people around a central theme of getting things done? And when I say people and team, that's internal to the district, to our, and then that's your teammates, that's your stakeholders across, that's your headquarters up, right? And then the people that you work with. And, obviously, I don't work for, I'm in the United States Army as part of the Army Corps of Engineers. I'm an Army officer. I work for the Department of War, which works for the president. So we work for the administration. And I don't mean this in a bad way. I don't work for Congress or Senate or the governor, but man, I got to maintain good relationships with them, right? And you need to be responsive and aware. And it's the same thing, I think, in the state. How do you, at first point is sometimes it's just a matter of sitting down and having a conversation with someone and saying, hey, tell me about yourself. What's going on? What do you think? And I always try to take a few minutes and not just get right to business. I think, hey, what's going on? Just trying to make at least an initial connection, and you build that iteratively. And then looking for opportunities to build connections. I do that down here in Terrebonne with Parish President Bergeron, and I look for opportunities, because I think if I can get to understand the parish president concerns across the state, the port director concerns, and the levee district executive director concerns, man, I could solve 99% of the problems.
From 2019 to 22, Colonel Autin commanded the 2nd Brigade of the famous 82nd Airborne Division.
And that meant he was charged with the leadership and training of over 450 U.S. paratroopers ready to deploy with no notice anywhere around the world.
The 82nd, go back to the 82nd Airborne. A great friend, my classmate, is in command of one of those brigades that's over there. And I sent him a note and said, hey, I'm thinking about you. And he conveyed that, he's looking at in the eyes of 18, 19, 20-year-old kids, right? And he says they're excited, and the leaders are, adequately nervous in a good way of like, we got to get this right. I'm responsible for these people. I can't, we got to do this. The 82nd Airborne has been the nation's 911, right? They are the response force. We've got some exceptional special operations forces, smaller. This is large scale paratroopers, thousands of people that can jump out of an airplane and be anywhere in the world in 72 hours. No other country in the world can do that. And so when we send those formations over that, we call that kind of the over the horizon. When we send those formations in, those countries know we mean business, right?
But you sort of had an idea of what we had, but we're looking at civilians at this campaign. I'm in awe of the firepower that we have as a country. And I'm sitting there going, my God, I never realized how overwhelming this could be. But y'all on the inside, y'all see it. We don't see it till something happens.
Right. Yeah, it's, any chance I get, I try to convey that we are the most professional, dominant military force in the world. We definitely have a lot of firepower, and we absolutely have what I would say is reach. We can move a lot of things anywhere we want to quickly. Not a lot of countries have the ability to do that. But our decisive advantage is our great soldiers and NCOs and the officers that lead them, right? I've heard a leader say the most decisive point of any battlefield is the 6 inches between that soldier's ears. And that's where I would offer that when you meet a young soldier in the 82nd, you would leave that engagement in awe. And you would leave that engagement knowing that we are the dominant fighting force in the world. The drive, the determination, the excitement, the love of country, the love of what they do, man, that's what woke me up every day, being able to work with great people like that.
And coming up, we'll learn more about the creation and current operations of the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers.
That's coming up next on Louisiana and Beyond as I continue my interview with Homa's own Colonel Scotty Autin.
At GIS, putting people first has always been our thing. As we always say, our people are our most important assets. With over 20 office locations, we deliver innovative solutions across 4 key markets: energy, industrial, infrastructure, and power. Our 4 main service groups house over 20 service capabilities, supporting projects from start to finish. We're proud of our legacy and even more excited about what's ahead.
When it comes to marine towing, Crosby Tugs has over 40 years of experience. We have the know-how to safely assist ships into and out of their berths, escort oil tankers quickly and safely, tow ships, respond to fuel spills, and work in extreme conditions. Founded in 1977 by Vinton and Kurt Crosby, we are one of the largest privately owned marine transportation businesses in the industry. If it's on the water, let Crosby be your transporter.
Welcome to Bollinger Shipyards. For nearly a century, our family of skilled shipbuilders has driven innovation and excellence, creating some of the world's most advanced vessels. Today, we are at the forefront of our industry and redefining the future of naval warfare. At Bollinger, we turn challenges into opportunities and careers into legacies. Here, you're part of something bigger. Any yard can build a ship. We don't just build ships. Together, we're building the future.
Edison Schwest Offshore is more than a fleet. We're an interconnected network of vessels, logistics hubs, and a fast-growing workforce of over 19,000 dedicated professionals across the globe. From the United States to Brazil and the Middle East to Southeast Asia, Schwest provides cutting-edge solutions to a worldwide community. And in the face of evolving demands across the industry, we are committed to operating as the best in the world.
Sea Level Construction is a heavy civil contractor that provides turnkey services for the industrial and marine industries. From building large-scale infrastructure to installing the foundation for expansion projects, Sea Level and its family of companies offer a wide range of capabilities including driven piles, drill deep foundations, structural fabrication, structural concrete, marine construction, barge maintenance and repair, site work development, heavy equipment repair services, and electrical services. Call Sea Level Construction to set the foundations for your next big project.
Welcome back to Louisiana Beyond in part 2 of our talk with Colonel Scotty Autin.
And for all who applaud his appointment in New Orleans, you should know exactly how long he will be here.
I recognize. So this job's about a 3-year job. It's a 3-year assignment. That's the standard. And I've heard it before from local and state leaders. By the time the colonel gets to know the region and the people, they change them out. And so I think, as we talked earlier, what competitive advantage can I bring into it? I know the region, and I feel like I can get to know the people very quickly. And so if I've gained another year, right, or year and a half of getting things done, then that's still not a lot of time. And so it's a balance, right? We talk about balancing what we need to get done, and we don't have a lot of time. I see the world not through the fiscal year, the way the government works. I see the world through hurricane season. And so 1 June for me is a major date in my mind. And so the government works on fiscal years 1 October, and those don't align. And that's not how the average person down here thinks. They think through readiness of hurricane season.
You're absolutely correct.
Yeah. And so the more we can get done, you know, even if a foot at a time on a levee raise, or you know, a milestone that we can get through for our surge barriers and some of our gates and our locks, or dredging just a little bit more on our canals to increase our economic durability. That's how I see it. We have a workforce of about 1,100 people in the district. It's a good size. We have a big mission, and it requires a lot of us. And so I have to be mindful that, you know, they're in it for the long haul. They're all from this area. They're all committed. I mean, they are locals. So what they do impacts them as much as the others. So I can't burn them out, right? I mean, as the colonel, I can drive pretty fast with the organization, but I got to be mindful that they have a big workload. They have a lot they have to get done. Even 1,100 people. So the overall process this is the way I explain it. I needed to explain it to myself first to understand it, and then I explain it to others. And so in order for us, the Corps, to do something, there's two things we have to have. So we have to have authority, right, which is a law that says we can do a certain thing. And we have to have funding, which is an appropriation, right? And so kind of the way I do is I say, you know, my son wants to go to the movies, right? So, you know, as a teenager in New Orleans, he's got to come ask me, hey, Dad, can I go to the movies? Yes, you can go to the movies. What's the next thing he's going to ask me for? Right?
Money.
Hey, can I have $20, $25? Right, exactly. So, you know, I can give him authority and he can do it, but if he doesn't have the money, he's not going to go to the movies, right? And if he has the money and he sneaks off and goes to the movies, he's going to get in trouble because he didn't have authority to do it. And so that's how we operate. We have to have authority and funding. And so a lot of people want us to move out in certain areas, and we want to move out in certain areas. And there's certain things we want to close the gap on, and maybe we don't have the authority. Or maybe we have the authority and we're just waiting, you know, we're waiting on the funding. And I know that term makes me as frustrated as others, you know, but as we talk about this massive need and only so much money. So we work through that. I think as we talked earlier about, you see a lot of local entities, the parish or the levee districts are taking on these studies on themselves. And what they're doing is, instead of asking the Corps of Engineers to go find the authority through a study that shows the need is there and it meets the benefits given the cost, they're doing it themselves. And then they're going up to Congress and they're going, we're showing you that it matters. We want you to write the laws through our local U.S. Congress and senators here in the state. The Corps of Engineers has a long-standing history. If you really, and I don't want to take too long, but very, very briefly go back and you think about early formation of the United States, right? And so after we bought the Louisiana Purchase, the first thing we had to do was survey it, right? And really starting out, who do we have that could do surveying? It was our military. So Lewis and Clark was part of our military formation that went out there and surveyed the land we had. They were really looking for a water path out to the West Coast. And while they didn't find it, they found the watershed. And then after really a lot of the War of 1812, when the Brits were trying to come back and start stuff again, we did an AAR, and we realized that if we were going to be powerful as a country, we needed to have a strong army, a strong navy, and the ability to move them around quickly. And so when they looked at their assets and they said, okay, how do we move it around? What's the rivers, right? That's the internet of that day. Okay, well, they're not clear. Okay, Corps of Engineers, you now have the mission, keep our rivers navigable. That was the very first mission we received as a military formation, because we were the only ones that could do it at the time. And we've maintained that navigability mission since then. You know, as we're coming up on the anniversary of the 1927 flood, that really devastated the entire Mississippi Valley. And it was the outcome of that flood where the government looked around and realized that They had to federalize the ability to protect large infrastructure. They couldn't rely on just local levee districts because they were disjointed in the moment, and so they needed to have a synchronized view of this. And so since we were already doing the river missions, they said, "Hey, Corps, we want you to go and assess these rivers, and now I want you to look at the flood risk management side." And so the 1928 Flood Control Act really gave us the authority to do that. And then in the 70s, we picked up, because we were working with the rivers and because we understood the rivers and the outcomes, we picked up our ecosystem and restoration and protection. Those are the three primary missions we have. And those, remember, we talked authority and funding. That was the authority that granted us to do that. And so we're a little bifurcated where we have the Corps of Engineers, which is predominantly civilians.
And coming up after the break, our final segment with Colonel Scotty Autin with the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers.
Thanks so much for joining us. We'll be right back here on Louisiana and Beyond.
Sea Level Construction is a heavy civil contractor that provides turnkey services for the industrial and marine industries. From building large-scale infrastructure to installing the foundation for expansion projects, Sea Level and its family of companies offer a wide range of capabilities including driven piles, drill deep foundations, structural fabrication, structural concrete, marine construction, barge maintenance and repair, site work development, heavy equipment repair services, and electrical services. Call Sea Level Construction to set the foundations for your next big project.
Edison Schwest Offshore is more than a fleet. We're an interconnected network of vessels, logistics hubs, and a fast-growing workforce of over 19,000 dedicated professionals across the globe. From the United States to Brazil and the Middle East to Southeast Asia, Schwest provides cutting-edge solutions to a worldwide community. And in the face of evolving demands across the industry, we are committed to operating as the best in the world.
When it comes to marine towing, Crosby Tugs has over 40 years of experience. We have the know-how to safely assist ships into and out of their berths, escort oil tankers quickly and safely, tow ships, respond to fuel spills, and work in extreme conditions. Founded in 1977 by Vinton and Kurt Crosby, we are one of the largest privately owned marine transportation businesses in the industry. If it's on the water, let Crosby be your transporter.
At GIS, putting people first has always been our thing. As we always say, our people are our most important assets. With over 20 office locations, we deliver innovative solutions across 4 key markets: energy, industrial, infrastructure, and power. Our 4 main service groups house over 20 service capabilities, supporting projects from start to finish. We're proud of our legacy and even more excited about what's ahead.
Welcome to Bollinger Shipyards. For nearly a century, our family of skilled shipbuilders has driven innovation and excellence, creating some of the world's most advanced vessels. Today, we are at the forefront of our industry and redefining the future of naval warfare. At Bollinger, we turn challenges into opportunities and careers into legacies. Here, you're part of something bigger. Any yard can build a ship. We don't just build ships. Together, we're building the future.
Well, you must admit it's pretty obvious that Colonel Autin earned a master's degree from Columbia University in organizational psychology.
And that is because he clearly understands that in his position, the importance is connecting with others.
I grew up, you're never going to be too old to laugh at yourself, right? And to have a good time and connect with people. And you can do that and still be very serious and be very committed and be very driven. I think, I'm sure there's some times where people have a hard time separating those two, and feel like, I have to be serious all the time. That's okay. I understand that. But my personality style is hey, I love having a good time. I love connecting with people. I enjoy talking, meeting new people. I love good food, and I've lived all over the world, and this is the best food in the world. But if I can show if I can get out there and paddle a P road down Bayou Terrebonne, and do it in some dress pants and nice shoes and a leather belt, right? And maybe it's a little odd, but and that's great, right? If it's a way that I can make a connection with someone that said, "Hey, Colonel, I saw you on doing this," or "I saw your team doing that," and I can get more of our incredible core employees out there in front of people, and they can have a real conversation with them, then it becomes less about, oh, them, they did this, they won't do that, them won't. It's, hey, us, hey, we're going to do this, we're going to accomplish this together, and that's my intent.
What would you want people to get from there if they're still trying to figure out the Colonel, Scotty Autin? And this will be one of the last questions. What do you want to portray to them? I know you have the military side, and there's a certain persona that goes with that. We get it. We know that. But like I told you, I've been captivated by the other side, the side that wants to relate to the way he grew up. But what would you hope they get?
I hope people would at least take away that I get it. I understand. I understand the drive, the need. I understand the why. Why do we need to move so fast, right? That's what I said. I think in terms of hurricane seasons, not fiscal years. I hope they take away that I listen, right? Because I get it and I understand. I want to listen from a point of understanding. And I've told Gordy and Tony and Michael Hare and all the key stakeholders. I've told my team inside the district, you're not allowed to tell anyone no. And I won't ever tell anyone no. It's yes if, right? Because we have to approach getting things done from a position of yes. And yes if these conditions are met. And I think there's a psychological change that happens when you tell people you're not allowed to say no. Because no is such an easy default, right? And the yes if could be yes if we just sit down and talk through it. Yes, if maybe we're looking for an opportunity, because if I can understand where you're coming from, you think you want to go one way, and I go, well, actually, you got better authority and funding to go this way, right? And that's where you build that trust. Sometimes the yes if is, hey, yes if you go to DC, because we have a little bit of a procedural roadblock that I need you to work through. And we got some of those in the works right now that we haven't done it this way before, but no one's telling us we can't do it. And so maybe we just need to knock the cobwebs off, right? And so you'll go to DC and I'll go up my chain of command. Let's see if we can meet in the middle. And sometimes the yes if the law changes, which is not unheard of, right? And I think people value knowing that they can get to yes if they tick these things. And so what that does is that puts onus on me that if they do those things, it's a yes, right? Because as you said, the people in the area are going to come back and go, hey, I did the list you told me. Don't move the goalpost. So I hope they take away that I'm approachable. I understand. They can talk to me, that we're focused on getting to a yes in the ways that we can. And if we can't get to a yes, is sometimes a yes for one person is a no for another. And so how do we reconcile that? How do we come together? And how do I build that team around that?
But if you do get to a lot of yeses, I'm going to commit Gordy and Tony and Parish President Bergeron, if you could get authority to go up in a plane with you and parachute. I mean, look, if they're going to ask you for everything, we got to make them, they got to have some skin in the game. Right?
I would love to see Chairman Dove jumping out of an airplane. I think that would be worth it just to try and pursue that.
And look, we got to have a film crew.
Yeah, exactly. That's right.
I want to thank you, Colonel, for coming on board. Thank you for your commitment to our area. Thank you for your genuineness and your openness to discuss things. And man, it's great having you here and finding out a little bit about your personal life and your fun things that you do. And you're always welcome here.
Thank you. Well, I want to say thank you to you, Martin, your team, and just the professional group you have and what HTV does to tell the story of the region. It's great to be able to connect with locals the best we can about the importance of this region, and we cannot underscore how important this region is and the people are to the world. South Louisiana has value to the entire nation, and I really hope that the individual person knows that, at how valuable they are, and they're worth protecting and they're worth promoting. And so thank you for continuing to tell the story.
And we thank Colonel Scotty Autin for the time he has spent with us these last couple of weeks here on the program.
And we thank you for joining us and supporting the program, and hope to see you again next week on Louisiana and Beyond.
Louisiana and Beyond has been brought to you in part by Edison Schwest Offshore, Bollinger Shipyards, Crosby Tugs LLC, Grand Isle Shipyard, Nichols State University, and Sea Level Construction.